How's it going, guys? Asal here. So first of all, I just want to apologize for the delay in making videos. It's been over a week since I've uploaded anything, and I do apologize for that. I've been away, I've been pretty sick over the past few days, and just school, it's just been busy. So guys, with that, that's my formal apology. So let's jump right into this episode of Load Up Loadout. Now guys, Load Up Loadout is a series where I take one of your loadouts from Battlefield 4, and I just run with it for a few games, and let you know what I think. Now guys, if you want to get your own loadout featured on a future episode of Load Up Loadout, be sure to just leave a comment down below, and upvote some of the ones that you would like to see, and I'll pick one of them for the next episode. Now today's loadout once again comes from J Smalls. Now this is the Rambo loadout. So we have the MG4 with only a laser sight and ergo grip, the M9 with only a flashlight. For our gadgets, we have C4 and ammo bag. Our field upgrade is offensive, and we are going with some incendiary grenades. Have fun. So now right away, with no hesitation, even before I tried this, I knew this was just going to be a gong show. We're taking a high rate of fire light machine gun, which, as we know, light machine guns are terrible when it comes to hip fire, and we always want to be aiming down sights when we use a light machine gun. And the only attachments we are using are attachments that will improve our hip fire, which is really, it's crazy. It is as crazy as it sounds. After I tried it, I was getting so frustrated because basically these attachments are more or less worthless, because if you see that little square on my screen with my reticle there, it is huge even with these two attachments. So hip firing even still was just terrible. It was like way worse than an assault rifle or a carbine, and I didn't hip fire at all. I did a couple times and I probably got a kill here or there, but when I did, it was just so lucky because that spread is just massive. So I mean, adding these attachments to a weapon that already has such abysmal hip fire really won't turn it into something that has any sort of decent way of killing people with your hip fire. I was still aiming down sights pretty much 100% of the time, so I was really losing out on that firepower because I had to use these attachments when what I wanted to do was I wanted to negate some recoil or just have a sight, but I couldn't do that because I was going for the hip fire with this loadout, which really, it's just silly. You don't really need hip fire with a light machine gun, even though it does have 800 rounds per minute. You can't really make this weapon into a hip fire beast no matter what you do to it. Now that's certainly not to bash the MG4 light machine gun. I love the MG4. I think it might be my favorite light machine gun with the M249. I kind of view those two as more or less the same weapon, as the only real difference is in that recoil pattern. But the MG4, it's a great light machine gun, but just the way we were using it really isn't the way it is meant to be used. It's not a hip firing weapon. It is definitely meant to be used with a sight and just any other attachment that gives something other than hip fire. And you've probably noticed it that I'm using the iron sights, and they're not terrible, but they certainly are not amazing, and they don't really add to my gameplay. If anything, they take away from it. It's not that bad at range because you don't need to see as much of a area. You can just see more of a small area far away, but when you're up close, you are seeing a much larger area, and when you're like right there, that sight is blocking so much of my screen, and if the guy goes below where I'm aiming, I can't even see him at all, which was really frustrating at times. And that was honestly my biggest gripe with this loadout, was the fact that we didn't have a sight. I could live with the fact that we were using this gun without any real attachments that really helped us benefit, but the fact that I was using iron sights really had me pulling out my hair at a few points. So what would I change? I would add a laser dot sight. I would add probably a stubby grip, and definitely not the ergo grip. It doesn't really make any sense with this weapon. And as far as just my barrel attachment, I'm not really sure. Maybe a suppressor, just because this gun is really nice up close, but the biggest thing would be that sight, because iron sights are just, I don't know why you would ever use an iron sight other than to say like, yo, I'm using iron sights. Like, that's pretty cool, but other than that, it's just, they're not really like that great. There's a reason that you get laser dot sights after just 10 kills with a weapon. So I mean, maybe this loadout was supposed to be something from the movie Rambo, and maybe I missed out entirely. But guys, with that wraps up today's episode of Load Up Loadout. And guys, remember, if you want to see your own loadout featured on a future episode, leave a comment down below. So guys, with that, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.